Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming, the new show where we cover all things FPS. If a story in particular interests you, be sure to check the description for links to all the news I'm covering today. Our first story this week is that Destiny 2 might be coming to the PC. As per a leak from NeoGAF with confirmation by Kotaku, it looks like Bungie is aiming to address Destiny's major issues in their next title. Destiny's DLC did a lot to even out the game's rough spots, but it still has its flaws. Destiny 2 is rumored to be a complete overhaul, making it feel like a distinctly new game. It might even go as far as to completely change the setting to totally new planets and characters. As for Destiny 2 coming to the PC, well, the first game was rumored to be launching for PC before its release as well, so don't get your hopes up. Though there's no doubt that Destiny 2 would do well on PC. Us PC players have been itching for some Bungie goodness for nearly 12 years, with 2004's Halo 2 being the last full-on FPS title Bungie released on PC. And while the next Halo title might end up being on PC, it's not an actual Bungie game, so it's probably not going to be that same Bungie goodness we've all been waiting on. Then again, Halo on PC still does excite me, but what I've seen from that demo wasn't too promising. Personally, I would love for this game to come out on PC. The first game was one that I actually ditched my PC for quite a while to play Destiny on the PS4, and if you know me, there's very few games that'll pull me away from PC gaming, but Destiny was one of them. The PC shooter market has really got a void in the sci-fi MMO FPS genre. I mean, you've got The Division, but if you're looking for laser guns and aliens, then there really aren't any major AAA titles out there competing in that space, and Bungie was one of the few companies doing that with Halo, which became a huge success, and I would love to see that same success trickle over into the PC market. Given how big and accessible PC gaming has gotten over the past few years, I think it's clear that developers and publishers are really starting to move away from exclusives and just let anyone who wants to play their game play it on whatever platform. There's certainly still a place for platform exclusives. I couldn't see a game like Dota 2 or Civilization 6 working on console, just like party games that require a simple way to play like Dance Dance Revolution or Wii Sports wouldn't benefit from having to drag your PC into the living room. But there's so much overlap between what PCs and consoles are capable of these days, I don't see a reason that most games should only be on one platform or the other. Now, the PS4 Pro and Xbox One Scorpio are about to throw down with some serious 4K gaming content, with both new consoles giving users more choices than they've ever had about how they want to play their games. It's only a matter of time before I think we get more modular or customizable consoles with maybe graphics options and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of an upgrade status to console development rather than a complete overhaul, having to create an entirely new set of games. It's one of the reasons why PC gaming is so attractive, because you can pretty much go back in time and play whatever old PC title you want to. There's almost always a way to do it. In other gaming news, it looks like hard times for No Man's Sky are going to last a little bit longer. Thanks to the many complaints about how the game was marketed pre-release, the UK's Advertising Standards Authority has launched an investigation into whether or not No Man's Sky's marketing was purposely deceptive. Regardless of whether or not the trailers were misleading, No Man's Sky has been a massive disappointment for a lot of players. Despite having a playground of infinite planets to explore, the gameplay of No Man's Sky feels like a never-ending repetition of the same few tasks. Mine the plutonium to power the ship, to fly to the next planet, to collect more plutonium to power the ship. It's just so dull compared to the game we imagined based on what Sean Murray had to say about it. All that said, I hope the outcome of the investigation doesn't put Hello Games into too much hot water. Despite the bad marketing, No Man's Sky is still a pretty incredible accomplishment for such a small studio. If they are found guilty of fraud, then I expect them to be held accountable for their actions. I just hope they're able to walk away from the situation having learned from their mistakes and able to carry forward with more titles that go beyond No Man's Sky's incredible but flawed universe. For all we know, it could have been Sony's fault that the game's marketing was so disingenuous. After all, Sony's marketing department is probably to blame for the game's Steam listing still having trailers from 2014 on it. Speaking of Steam, Valve posted on their private developer Steam group that a big UI update for the platform is in the works. Among a number of changes to the layout and curator system, probably the biggest update for some people will be more user control over what content is on the front page of the Steam store. Currently, there's no way to avoid early access titles, software, and even movies from filling up the front page of Steam. The UI update aims to fix that by giving users the option to hide those kinds of titles. Not everyone wants to buy unfinished products, so allowing people to totally avoid early access titles in the first place is a pretty smart move by Valve. Helping users see content that's most relevant to their interest without forcing them to sit through stuff they'd rather ignore improves the store experience for everyone, users and developers alike. Nothing improves sales quite like not having to leap past a giant garbage fire to get to your product. And speaking of sales, the Xbox One S has kicked Microsoft's UK console sales up by 989%. Likewise, Sony's PS4 Slim has kicked their sales up by 628%. That's not bad for refreshes of products from 3 years ago. Considering that the Xbox One S is only slightly more expensive than a native 4K Blu-ray player, it makes sense that Microsoft's latest version of their current gen hardware would sell well at launch. However, with the PS4 Slim also selling pretty well, I'd say the big sales numbers have more to do with new console version hype than what they can play for movie night. The PlayStation VR system launches October 13th, and Polygon has done a full unboxing video of the consumer product, complete with test fittings. It seems like PSVR owners will have a premium built headset. Everything about it screams good build quality and ease of use. I don't expect the same kind of premium VR experience that the Rift and Vive deliver, but Sony has clearly gone a long way towards solving the VR's comfort and long-term use issues. However, I can tell you from first-hand experience that setting up a Vive or Rift for a play session takes something getting used to. If the PSVR headset works as well as the Polygon guys made it out to be, we could be seeing a ton of changes to the way Valve and Oculus approach their hardware in future VR headset models. Built-in headphones, or at least an easier way to deal with sound on VR, would be a nice addition, as it's always annoying to have to put the headset on your head, have the headphones around your neck, put your controller somewhere where you can easily find them. There's a lot of cords and objects that you have to be aware of when just setting up the system. Now, in trailer news, Gears of War 4 and Call of Duty 4 Remastered both had pretty big trailers drop this week. Gears had a 22-minute gameplay trailer release that shows the upcoming game's prologue level in full. What amounts to the game's tutorial level also sets up the backstory for the game's events, as well as acts like a mini history lesson for newcomers to the franchise. Personally, I'm not much for tutorial levels, especially for a game as well established as Gears, but this seems like the right blend of gameplay tutorials and meaningful story moments, so powering through the prologue shouldn't feel like a chore. As for Call of Duty 4 Remastered, the new trailer showed new footage of the campaign. Overall, I'd say it looks very impressive. Call of Duty 4's campaign was one of the great early modern military FPS games that really took the medium to a new level. By today's standards, it's certainly dated in a lot of ways, but it still stands above many of the titles from its era. It's nice to see Activision is giving the franchise a proper remaster of what is arguably the game that made Call of Duty the success it is today. Our last bit of news is also Call of Duty related, as Black Ops 3 finally has mod support. Back when Treyarch first launched Black Ops 3, they said mod tools were definitely on the horizon for a future update. Treyarch delivered on that promise this week with a patch that includes an open beta for the mod tools. Modders will be able to build levels, edit in-game assets, and share their work on the Steam Workshop. They'll also have full access to versions of the multiplayer map Combine and the zombie map The Giant. Mods have certainly contributed to keeping Call of Duty 4 alive all of these years, so Black Ops 3 getting mod support is definitely going to help its life cycle. With Infinite Warfare right around the corner, it's anyone's guess how popular mods for Black Ops 3 will be, but in a few years we could be talking about the latest crazy mod that brought thousands of players back to Black Ops 3 for a few nights of nostalgia-fueled fun. Battlefield 2142 was recently revived by the community, and it's seeing players in the thousands return to it after 2 years of official servers going offline. Mods don't just keep games interesting, sometimes they keep them playable way beyond their intended support window. And before I go, I just wanted to mention that DICE will be doing a Battlefield 1 single player live stream today that you probably won't want to miss if you're interested in Battlefield 1, so be sure to check the description for a link to the Battlefield Twitch page. That wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.